We haven't seen any concerns coming from that, so it definitely addressed that concern. And then we've also done what's called more ADA outreach and ADA work, so American Disabilities Act, and working with both groups externally outside of the city and internally. And we appointed what's called an ADA coordinator, and that coordinator looks at what we can do differently outside of the city. So city buildings and sidewalks and signals and making them ADA compliant, and then resolving either concerns or grievances that are ADA based in a non-employment setting. So we hired that person and she's doing a phenomenal job. It's a big job. And then we've also done what's called limited English proficiency work. And that's, the acronym there is LEP. My life is full of acronyms these days. I think I've mentioned
But you're
5
so
already.
good because you're explaining them, which usually I have to say, please explain.
So the Limited English Proficiency Plan, LEP, is also prompted by a federal law. And basically it ensures that individuals who want access to our services as a city have access in alternative formats if they can't either read English or they can't visually see, so they have an impairment or they have a hearing impairment. So it's all related to communication. Sure. So we're embarking on that as we speak now, and having an LEP plan finalized and then having LEP coordinators as point persons across the city in the 17 departments that we have. So that's another big charge that we have as well.
And you're doing a lot more communication, I've noticed.
A lot more communication. We have a fabulous newsletter, and anybody who wants to sign on can go on stpaul.gov and go to our department, Human Rights and Equal Economic Opportunity, and then there's a newsletter on the left bar, and you just say subscribe. Sure. Currently it goes out to over 1,400 individuals.
Oh, that's great, yeah. And you update your site quite a bit.
We update our site quite a bit, and I have an incredible team of new people, younger people I should say, and they're very web-oriented, so they get a great idea. We kind of flush it through the department. If it works, then we update it. And the newsletter, quite honestly, is the first time we've ever had one in our department, and it's been really well received, and it's very informative. So
great.
Yeah.
It is really good. I get it all the
good.
time. So I'm like, oh, Liz Maria's doing this. I have to call her. That's great. Good, yes. Good. Congratulations on being so transparent too, because I've noticed you have you're posting your year-end results, and there's actually, it's quite a vibrant little couple of pages, several pages actually, more than that. It's pretty deep.
Thank you.
So we've talked about then, as far as individuals or protected classes go, we've talked about low income, we've talked about physically challenged individuals, English as a second language, that kind of thing. What about minorities? I mean, the Hall audit was really targeted towards how to work better with minority communities. So tell us how you're doing that.
We're doing that across the board with our contractors and our vendor outreach and our MBDR. So vendor outreach is also another program within our business sector that came over from PED. And what we do is we register then minority-owned and women-owned businesses, as well as small-owned businesses. And then we also certify them for 4 jurisdictions: St. Paul, Minneapolis, Ramsey County, Hennepin County. Right. And then we have the Minority Business Development and Retention, MBDR. And we've hosted quite a bit of outreach between those 2 units and then one other unit. And I'll give you some examples. We had 2 community forums, one in December, one in October, that were attended by over 100 one and then another 150 another, and they were taped live with Al McFarland on KFAI, and really strong positive response. And then we also were featured in Insight News as well. And those were specifically targeting minority-owned businesses and having them become more informed about our practices. And then if we go further back to September of 2009, we had the first of its kind engineering and architectural networking morning, basically. It went for about 3 hours, and we had to close registration off at about 150 registrants because it was really popular. And we took the larger owned architectural, engineering firms rather, and paired them up with the minority-owned engineering outfits, or even just minority engineers, and put them together and have them then begin to collaborate on the projects that we sponsor. And we had that for the morning, and we had what we call speed networking. So it went
Oh.
really well. We had really good positive feedback, and we had other jurisdictions there from the county and the state and the Met Council, and everybody was excited about it and wanted us to further on with that. So that's why we're going to do the architectural part of it. And they also wanted to collaborate and kind of duplicate at a larger level. So quite a bit of outreach we're doing.
Yes, that's amazing.
And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, our Census 2010
yes.
work. We've done significant outreach with that as well. And the census, as you know, it's something that is mandated every 10 years by the U.S. Constitution. And we really need to make sure that all of our hard-to-reach populations are counted. There's a lot of trust issues, and we understand that. And so we're really trying hard to make sure that people know that information is private, it's not shared. And for instance, if there are 10 people living in one home in St. Paul, it may not be spec'd out for it to have that many people, but the city of St. Paul won't know that that's the case. There isn't any information sharing. So whatever you put on that survey, whatever you disclose, and we want you to be 100% accurate, doesn't cross over to inspections or any part of St. Paul government. It goes directly to the census. It's postage paid, 10 questions, 10 minutes for the year 2010 is what we're saying. And we really want to make sure that people participate, because that ensures that we as a city are eligible to receive as much federal money as we can. For instance, with President Obama's stimulus package, the ARA funds, ARRA, all that was based on census figures. So if we don't have an accurate census, that means we're not eligible to receive the full amount that we really need.
Sure.
And 10 years ago, we had an undercount that led to about a shortage of $36 million.
Oh my.
And we can't afford to do that.
Right.
And in the last 10 years, we've had certainly more individuals of color come to the city. And then just by demographics and age as well, more births that occurred. We've had the influx of the Hmong population as well. So.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much you have been doing. How much, especially in 1 year. That's amazing. And we have 2 more years to go with you, right?
You're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Luz Maria Frias, for joining us today. Thank you very much for watching us on the St. Paul Forum.